Why is it crucial for women engineers and professionals to understand that math is in everything you do, especially in influence innovation and success in engineering and technical fields?
You have to be able to see the math in your world, because otherwise people look at math as just a subject. Some people look at math as just
When we think about engineering, we often imagine the flashy, attention-grabbing innovations that make headlines. But what we don't see is the countless hours of mathematical modeling, simulation, and analysis that go into making these innovations a reality. Math is an unsung hero who works tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that our bridges don't collapse, our smartphones don't overheat, and our medical devices don't malfunction. Join us in this episode as I dive into the power of math as a foundation for innovation and success in engineering with Tiffany Layton, owner of Math Tutor Tiff, to talk about how math fuels problem solving, enhances critical thinking, and empowers engineers to break barriers and shape the future. Whether it's designing groundbreaking solutions or tackling complex challenges, math is the heart of engineering excellence. I am your host, Tiffany Layton, and this is the Women in Engineering Podcast. And with that, let's jump right into today's episode. Now it's time to jump right into this main segment of our episode. Today, I have with me Tiffany Layton. Tiffany, welcome to the Women in Engineering Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Can you start by telling our listeners a bit about yourself and what inspired you to establish Math Tutor Tiff?
Okay. So my name is Tiffany Layton. I am an industrial engineer by degree. Received my bachelor's from The Ohio State University and my graduate from Youngstown State University. Started working in the corporate America arena, and then I ended up getting sick with rheumatoid arthritis, so I had to stop working. But throughout that process, I didn't want to stop using my brain, so to speak. I wanted to keep going. I didn't want to just sit and do nothing. So I started, maybe I'll tutor some kids, So I just created Math Tutor Tiff one day. I just sat down and I said, Math Tutor Tiff. And so I told a few people I wanted to start tutoring math because I had always tutored math and taught math at college level on the side. I was always like a little hustler. So I tutored math. I taught it at 4 universities. So that and statistics. So I knew, I said, hey, let me just try it with some kids. So I told a few people. And that first term I was overbooked with students. So, and from there, I just kept it going through COVID and throughout the process. I think I started it in 2018. And so been going ever since, doing well. And so I'm thankful for that very much. So, and then I'm just thankful because it does challenge me at times too. And it keeps me on my toes.
Love it, love it. I mean, the fact that you have the background and then you said, let's do it with the kids and the tutoring aspect of it and turn it around into a business is amazing. So how did your early experience with math, like learning fractions with your dad and as far as budgeting with your mom, shape your passion to math, as far as math and influence your career path?
Well, I always tell people, and I just got done talking to a parent today. I said confidence. When you have confidence in something, you're willing to tackle on harder challenges. So my dad, through the story, he built so much confidence in me with math that I was good at it. And because I was good at it, I knew that I started to love it, because I took on more challenges and I did well with that. I remember physics. A lot of people didn't like the physics class. I aced my physics class. And so it was just like, I just loved math and science. I loved it. And so because I was good at it, I built that confidence. And not saying I didn't have challenges because I did, but I wasn't afraid of them because that's what my dad had built in me is to tackle those challenges. So I basically wanted to go. I went to the library one day and I said, hey, I need to start a career. I want to find out. We had to go and what do we want to be? So I wanted to go into medicine initially. I became a candy striper. And something happened at the hospital where somebody got sick and we had I was all tested, TB tested. And I was like, oh, no, I'm good on that one. So, but I still wanted to stay in the medical field. So I chose biomedical engineering. went to Ohio State. They had a biomedical engineering, but it was a graduate degree. So I needed to choose something undergrad. And so that's how I became an industrial engineer. Never finished my biomedical. I wish I had, but yeah. So just because of my love of math.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody has different paths that happen. So you got a story to
Mm-hmm.
tell from your journey. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in your opinion, why is it crucial for women engineers and professionals to understand that math is in everything you do, especially in influence innovation and success in engineering and technical fields?
And then again, you have to be able to see the math in your world, because otherwise, people look at math as just a subject. Some people look at math as just a subject in school that I don't like, but it's not. I was talking to a student the other day too. She's an adult student. And I was telling her, she said, I don't like math. I'm intimidated. I've dropped a class before. And I said, why? You're a math genius right now. Oh, no, I'm not. I said, how many kids you got? She had 3 kids. They were older. She had grandchildren. I said, you are a math. I said, who managed the budget? Who managed how much what the groceries were? Do you work? Where do you work? You had to manage your, so many things. You had to make sure your kids got to school on time. You had to make sure all of that was all math related. But sometimes the way it's taught in the classroom, it kind of, I'm not going to say anything bad against the classroom, but it can kind of intimidate people, and therefore they think, oh, I don't like math, I don't do math. But you do math every day. There's not one day that went by that you didn't touch something that wasn't math created, math based. You turned on a TV, all math. The size of the TV is math, 52-inch. All of those things, everything we touch is math related. It can't be without math. So to say you don't like math is something that I just don't like when people say that. So as far as women in engineering, and women being that women touch so many different arenas. Like I said, managing your family. That's one of the things we do as an industrial engineer. You're more of a manager of the manufacturing arena or any type of arena where there's people involved and people working. That's industrial engineering. As a mother, you're doing that every day. And so women touch so many different arenas. And I'm not saying men don't either, but women touch a lot of different arenas because they have to manage so many things. And so looking into engineering and not being intimidated and then using those things, because I'm sure they have so many ideas to make it better. All math related. They don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I love how you talk about encouraging and saying she's a math genius. I mean, planting those seeds and then bringing it into perspective of it's here every day. The things you're doing is every day with math. So I love how you plant those seeds. And that's what's important as far as women too, what you say that the work that they're doing. Now, can you share, and you've probably touched a little bit on it, can you share specific examples of how math plays a vital role in engineering and everyday problem solving?
Okay, so math plays, a vital role in, let's talk about the car we drive. I worked at General Motors, and so the car we drive, that's all math related, right? Even to getting in the car. Okay, so you don't know how the car is built. I get it. But guess what? You got to drive the car. You have to stay within so many miles per hour or else you're going to get a ticket. You don't want that. The way the road is made is all math related. The road you take to get to where you got to go is all math related. The road you choose because of the time. The gas that goes in the car is math related. How many miles do I get per gallon? That's all math related, and engineering, because engineers design those cars so that they can be efficient for you, that they can make sure that you get the proper miles per gallon. Engineers design the cars to make sure that when you get in there, it's a nice fit. The ergonomics of the car, it's a nice fit. It feels good. Making sure the gear shift is in the proper, that's all engineering. All engineering. People who made the seats, designed the seats, all of that's engineering. So
yeah,
definitely all around you.
I love it. I love it. And that's important. I really don't think until you've brought it to their attention or bring it to others' attention that it opens up their mind and say, oh, yeah, you're right. It is a part of it. So problem solving in every day is important. So what strategies have you found most effective in helping young engineers build confidence in their math skills and overcome challenges?
The biggest strategy is, again, and you're going to hear me talk about this all the time, is seeing math in their world. So that's the biggest strategy right there. So what I've done is I did like a couple of games where I actually had a pair of students and we created a manufacturing facility and we manufactured pens. So what we did is we took the pens apart and then we had different fields. This one was in charge of the barrel of the pen, the spring of the pen, the ink of the pen, all of this. And I made them come up with their own their own how they wanted to lay it out. That's all engineering. How many they wanted to put out, how much the customer needed, that was all engineering. And I like that because it was hands-on. See, if people can see it, then they can understand it, I think. And then maybe that's because I'm a visual learner. But I think if you can see it, then and you actually do it, put your hands on it, you can actually learn it and understand it and see what's going on. And it's like, oh, wow, you mean I just did engineering today? Some of the students said, yes, you did, in creating a pen. So just different tactics of things like that I always try to do with my students, especially for young people. And just saying things, seeing it. I have one student, she's an artist, how does that relate? It does relate, what you're drawing, all of those things. You're using more of your creative side, but it's still designing something. Engineers design. You're
Yep.
designing something. You could take that art and now you could design the next Tesla car, So it's
That's good.
yeah.
Good. And I love the strategies. I mean, hands-on is always effective as far as them really getting experience. So just by you saying, let's build a manufacturing piece of it, I think it's important because then you get to see it being built, to see the end results of it. So I love that strategy as far as tactical, side of things. Now, how do you think an appreciation for math can inspire more women to pursue engineering and STEM careers?
An appreciation because they'll see it. And then they'll start to, once they see it in their world, so they'll see the math, they'll have that appreciation for math, they'll start to understand the math. They're not intimidated by it, they're confident about their math. Then they start to see different arenas of where, oh, wait a minute, that was math related. Oh, wait a minute, well, how did that come about? And you start to understand it and investigate. And then that, as an engineer, again, we design things from people, industrial engineer, people design, to chemicals, to mechanical, biomedical, designing the simple piece for someone who has a stroke. They had a stroke. There's a hand piece that you can design to help them work with their hands. Different things. There's so many arenas that you can use engineering. And so when they start to see the math in their world, they start to see the things like what created that, who designed that, how was it designed, how can I improve that design? Always good to look at things and look, how can I improve it? Don't think, well, it's already created, I'm good. No, there might be a way for you to improve it. You might be coming up with the next, the next $100,000 or $100 million, feature or something like that. You never know, but always look at things. How can I improve it?
I love it. How can I improve it? And it's always room for continuous improvement in everyday life. So as someone with your background in industrial and system engineering, how do you show the practical connections between math and real world engineering solutions?
Some things I do, for me, like I said, as an industrial engineer, we are in all aspects of it, all aspects. Industrial engineers are used as McDonald's. Industrial engineers are used in the hospital because we are people engineers. We design, the system right now that you see McDonald's, they have 2 windows. An industrial engineer may not be an official, but someone who used industrial engineering design, it was better to have 2 windows. You pay here and then get your food because it's going to make the line run smoother. That's all industrial engineering. So what I try to do is I help people to see that in your world. That's what I mean. When I say see the math in your world, you didn't even know when you went to McDonald's, you were experiencing a project that was done by probably an engineer, Those are just simple things like that. So yeah, just basically just taking that engineering and using it and seeing it and improving it.
That's it right there. That's good. I mean, let's go back to our women engineers. I know I'm hitting that slide because this is Women in Engineering podcast. So how can women engineers contribute to reshaping the narrative around math being intimidating, particularly for young generations?
Be seen as women engineers. Let them know you're out there. There are so many beautiful, smart women engineers. Start mentoring. That was one of the things I did when I first started working at my company. And I was in a program called Enroll, which is an excellent program. And through that, I was able to mentor, and so when you actually reach out and mentor, and it's never too early, Reach out to children, mentor, even if it's just your nieces or, or whoever as women, and let them know that you're there, that you exist. Don't be afraid. Sometimes we're a little intimidated, I remember my one friend told me, well, don't tell them you're an engineer. You might intimidate them. Why not? You know, it's something I'm proud of. I went to school, you know, I went to school for this and it wasn't easy. Trust me. you know, that differential equation has almost killed me.
Listen, I understand.
So those things we accomplish so much as women, we need to be seen. We need to be doing things like this, the podcast, even if, right now technology is so great that you may not be able to get out as much, but you're able to still maybe do things via Zoom. There's podcasts, there's blogs, there's all kind of stuff. Let people know that you exist and that you're also out there to share. It doesn't take a lot, even if it's just an hour a day of sharing something with someone. I see a lot of women, they're doing like STEM groups, excellent groups to be seen. And it's a lot of women leading that because women are great organizers. Okay. Not saying that again, I'm not against my men, but I'm just saying women are great organizers and they're going to put it together and make it happen. And they also know how to talk to people and they also know how to get people to do what they need done, in a way that makes them feel good. And because they're nurturers. That's what when we're natural, we're nurturers, So take all of that and use that to nurture other children, young girls, or young boys just to go into the field of engineering. Don't be intimidated by it. So many people they just don't do it. Oh, it's just the math. No, it's okay. I love it when I hear. I have a little cousin right now. Her name is Kennedy, and she's going into electrical engineering. That's what I'm talking about. She wants to be an electrical engineer. And when when I heard that, I was so happy because you don't hear that as much. I want to be a nurse. Nothing wrong with it. But, I want to be a nurse. Come on. Let's go into that. Let's do it. I like to also, one of the things I did as well is I taught. And I taught because you can reach more people. See, if I can reach it, even as me teaching as a math tutor, I have a lot of female students. If I can let them know, hey, look, this is an option. And this is what you can do. And they see that, then hopefully I can influence them.
That is amazing. It's amazing. And yes, it makes my day when you meet, like, you got somebody, it's like you planted a seed in so many ways for her to want to, for your, family member, for the younger generation to see. And so representation, I think, is key. The mentoring is key that you've mentioned. And I love that. And so you've hit on some great topics of how we can try to encourage the stigma of the whole intimidation piece of it. So thank you for sharing that. Now, one final piece of advice. What final piece of advice can you share with women and engineers about embracing the power of math in their careers?
I would say a piece of advice about embracing the power of math is I would say share it. Don't be afraid to share it. Share the power of math with others. Let people see it. Share it with your children, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, wherever you can, whoever you can touch. Share that power of math. Don't be afraid. I think a lot of times, again, it's that intimidation. Because a lot of people, they don't want to go. They feel like, well, I'm bragging. You're not bragging. You actually accomplished something really great. And it's okay. It's okay. Of course, there's, you have your boundaries or things like that. But it's okay to say, look, I'm an engineer. I'm proud to tell people I'm an industrial engineer. Very proud. Because like I said, it was not an easy road. And I'm sure for a lot of them, embrace that. Be seen, get out there, do things, and be a part of the STEM programs, all of those things. Get to know other female engineers, coordinate different things with them, go into the schools, talk to the kids. It's okay. You can do that because they need to see you. And then they see that. And then also just including that, let them know, help them to see that confidence that what they're doing right now, they're good at it. Even if it's something as small as getting up and getting to the school bus on time. Guess what? That's math. Because you got to calculate how much time it take you to get dressed, how long it take you to walk to the school bus. Help them to see that in their world. And that power, because I used math, I was able to get to school on time.
Wow, that's powerful right there. I love it. I love it. I love that you are passionate about math and how you tied it in and to encourage others, especially our women engineers or future engineers, to be a part of it. So, Tiffany, thank you so much for being a great
Thank
guest
you
on the
for
show.
having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you won't miss our upcoming episodes featuring interviews with inspiring women engineers, discussions about industry trends, and much more. Go to womeninengineeringpodcast.com where you will find a summary of the key points discussed in today's episode, as well as links to any of the resources, websites, or books mentioned during this episode. Until next time, may your engineering endeavors be as remarkable as the women whose stories we're sharing. Stay curious, keep innovating, and engineer a better future.